Good evening. It's now 6 p.m. Welcome to the 11th meeting of the Mayor and City Council. We will start this evening with the Pledge of Allegiance, Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all.
Agenda item number 3 is the roll. Madam Clerk?
Councilwoman Johnson?
Here.
Councilman Mills?
Here.
Councilwoman Clerk?
Here.
President Kole?
Here.
Mayor Sydnor?
Here.
You have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you. Agenda item number 4 is the approval of minutes from the April 3rd work session, April 8th regular meeting, April 22nd regular meeting, May 1st work session, May 6th budget work session, and the May 13th regular meeting. Are there any comments or additions to the minutes? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the minutes that you've listed as presented.
And do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Councilwoman Johnson?
Yes.
Councilman Mills?
Yes.
Councilwoman Clerk?
Yes.
President Kole?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Agenda item number 5, Madam Clerk, are they here with us yet?
No, Mr. President, they're not.
All right, we will move agenda item number 5 to later in the meeting for the presentation from LGIT. Agenda item number 6, report of the mayor and city council. Ms. Johnson, we'll start with you this evening.
Thank you. Good evening. It's a brief report today. Good evening, President, Mayor, council members, and staff. Good to be here this evening. Just want to briefly report that Friday, May 17th, I recorded an episode of Council Connections with Laurel TV. It was great to be back in the studio, so I thank Laurel TV for providing those opportunities for us. Wednesday, May 22nd, I attended the City Hall in the Park. We had a chance to meet some constituents over in Discovery Park. And then lastly, just wanted to remind everyone about the Laurel Historical Society upcoming gala on Sunday, June the 2nd. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Mr. Mills?
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone. The report I have is short. I was at Martin Luther King Middle School, junior middle school, and they were having a fine arts showcase, which showed their art that the sixth graders produced, and also the band, the chorus, and the choir also sung. On May 22nd, I was at Walker Mill Middle School for Career Day, and that was very interesting there, Mr. President. We had used to the elementary schools and the high schools, but the middle school, they're finding their way, and so I was there to help them find their way. And that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Clark?
Thank you, President Kole. Since our last meeting, I have spent time talking to residents and supporting local business owners at our City of Laurel Farmers Market. That market is located at 378 Main Street in Laurel every Thursday from May 2nd through September 6th, except for July 4th. I also had a great opportunity to stop by the big city, I had a great opportunity to stop by one of our local tattoo shops located at 154 Lafayette Avenue, Suite B. Spent some time learning from them and understanding more about their business expansion services and how tattoos should and can be done cleaner and in a safer way. Dave was really great. He's also passionate about tattooing and body art. Please join them on June 2nd from noon to 3 p.m. for their grand reopening. As a reminder, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It's a reminder of the importance of taking care of your mental health by adequately getting sleep, practicing mindfulness and relaxation, valuing social connections, participating in regular exercise, and seeking professional help when needed. In the spirit of the Awareness Month, I attended the Laurel Helping Hands Mental Health Awareness Month event under the part of the Move with the Mayor umbrella. at our Laurel Multi-Service Center. Thank you to our City of Laurel team for putting this together. You did a great job. And as a friendly reminder, in June, we will have our Juneteenth celebration. So be sure to come by. It will be a great time at our Laurel Park, Granville Goody Park. So please come by. And if you are a vendor and you would like to participate, you are more than welcome. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. For my report, on the 14th, I attended the Planning Commission. The Corridor Center project was tabled until a later date when the application can be more complete. Also on the 14th, I attended the Laurel Cats Kitten Shower at Bella. Their next fundraiser will be held at Tampico. If you haven't had a chance to attend, please support Laurel Cats at their next fundraiser. On the 16th, I attended the Pride Day meeting to get ready for the Newsbacks Drag Brunch that was held on the 19th. Thank you to all the attendees and performers. Almost $2,000 was raised for the Pride Day. On May 20th, I attended the Laurel Volunteer Fire Department meeting. On the 21st, I attended the Historic District Commission meeting. On the 22nd, I attended the American Legion Post 60 Sons of the American Legion, held a ceremony to give a donation to the Laurel Police Department and the 4th of July Committee. Also on the 22nd, I attended the City Hall in the park. I got there a little late, but it looked like it was well attended. On the 23rd, I went to the farmer's market. On the 26th, this past Sunday, I spoke on behalf of the mayor's office at the 51st Annual Joint Memorial Day service. It was well attended. For those that can't be there, next year, I encourage you to attend the Memorial Day service held by the city, the Laurel Volunteer Fire Department, Laurel Rescue Squad, and the American Legion at Ivy Hill Cemetery. It's always the Sunday prior to Memorial Day. Upcoming events. This Friday, the 31st, the Laurel Pride Day Committee will be having a flag-raising ceremony here at City Hall at 7 p.m. Immediately followed, we will be going to Oliver's Old Town Tavern from 8 to 11, where we will be unveiling the committee's new logo for the rest of this year. That concludes my report. I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, everyone. First, I want to pay my condolences to former City Council member, President Frank Persocio. Condolence to him and his family. Also, I want to wish a speedy recovery to, sorry, I had it written down here. Brian Kole, a street supervisor, DPW. He's in the hospital right now. We wish him a speedy recovery. Also wish a speedy recovery for planning, Fire Marshal and planning husband, Melody Wingard. Her husband is in the hospital. Wish him a speedy recovery as well. On May the 15th, I attended a ride-along with the Laurel Police Department. It was National Police Week. I wanted to show my support by riding with the police officer and showing the things they do for our community and keeping us safe. Had the honor and privilege to ride with PFC Hayden. He showed me a awesome time and kept me safe. So looking forward to riding again next year with the Laurel Police Department. May the 16th, we had our virtual Prince George County Association meeting. Chief Aziz was the guest speaker from the Prince George County Police Department. Chief Aziz talked about many things. He talked about the crime in Prince George County, the truancy in Prince George County, that's no accountability right now. And so we hopefully that the school board and the Prince George County Councilman come up with some type of mechanism to keep our kids accountable when they cut school. So right now we see a lot of kids throughout the community and the neighborhoods that's not in school. And the principal jobs, all the principal jobs, their job is to keep the kids in the school. But when the kids leave out of the school, they can have no control of that. So when there's no accountability in place, it's kind of hard to hold people accountable. So that's one of the things Chief Aziz was talking about. He also talked about the crossing guards, that Prince George County is in need of crossing guards. So if anyone interested in becoming a crossing guard in our Prince George County public school system, they're needed and there's a wanted job. So I want to thank Deputy City Administrator Joanne Barr for attending Optimal Care chiropractor for their 20th anniversary in Laurel. So anytime a business inside our city, 20 years or more, or even 5 years or more, that's a great thing. So we want to go out there and support them, and that's what we did. We went out there and support. So Deputy Administrator stayed on my behalf. On May the 18th, as was mentioned already before, May is Mental Health Month, and it's a campaign going out throughout the month to move with the mayors. We've been addressing mental health. We don't want you suffering in silence. So you feel some kind of depression or any type of anxiety, anything you're feeling with mental health, please contact a mental health expert. And some things you can do on your own as well. You can go to the gym, you can do some yoga, you can walk. You can do something very positive to take your mind off of whatever you're going through, whatever stress you're going through. Once again, you're not don't suffer alone, don't suffer in silence. There's help out there for you. Memorial Day remembrance, 34th annual Memorial Day remembrance at Fort Meade. Shows of color went down there. There was an excellent ceremony there. Post 60 was there representing the city of Laurel, and it was a great opportunity to meet the new commander coming in post on August sometime. August. I don't know the exact date, but it's a chain of command from the Fort Meade, so she'd be taking over that. May the 20th, had the opportunity to work with our fine workers from the Department of Public Works. It was National Public Works Weeks as well, so I went down there once again to show the leadership of the mayor and the city council and the city administrator and the staff that we support our workers 100%. We always have, always will, and just want to work with them, get firsthand experience of what they was doing. And and I work with Trayvon McMillan and Darrell Rutherford and Street Supervisor Brian Bennett. There's a great team out there that day. I worked actually from 7:30 to 2:30, so it was a great opportunity to learn from those young men as well. I continue my report. St. Vincent Pallotti High School Senior Honors Awards. The Mayor Awards went to Isabella Romero. The Mayor's Award for a person who's doing outstanding community service in their community, and we was able to present her with a check for scholarship as she go to college. So continue the wonderful work, young lady. On May 22nd, we had our first City Hall in the Park. It was a great time. We had a lot of members come out in the community. So if we have a City Hall in the Park, please come out. I have all the department heads there. They can answer all your questions you may have. And once again, we can't answer your question on the spot. Just we'll email you or email us, and we'll get to answer your questions. We're here to work for you as well. On May 23rd, I went to Laurel Elementary School. They had a readathon. So I was going there reading with the kids and being a role model for those kids. They look up to us for career people coming in and spend time with the kids. So regardless of your profession, if you have any time to go into any elementary school or middle school, to career day to be a service to our youth, please do that. Thanks, President Kole, for attending the ceremony for me, Memorial Day. A lot of folks were saying Happy Memorial Day, but Memorial Day is not a happy moment. It's a day that we look back on our servicemen who lost their lives, sacrificed for our country. So instead of saying Happy Memorial Day, just think about and reflect on those men and women who put their life on the line for us, so we can be here today. I got a couple of announcements coming up on June the 7th. It'd be the city bike decorating contest, ice cream social, the Laurel Armory. So if you got a bike, that's a big opportunity. So come on out there on June the 7th, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. The Laurel Armory, ice cream social at that time as well. And also on June the 10th, from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., my time with the mayor, it'll be at the Robert J. DePietro Community Center. So that's a one-on-one time with the mayor. You can come out and ask me any questions you want to. Hopefully I can answer your questions on the spot. If not, then we'll get back with your questions. I have some senior staff members with me there at my time with the mayor. And I got a couple of proclamations, but I'll do that later. That concludes my report, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will go back to agenda item number 5. We have a presentation of a grant award to the city for an automatic braking system by the Laurel Local Government Insurance Trust, LGIT. Mr. Matt Peters, the acting executive director, will you please come forward?
Good evening. I apologize for my partner. Matt Peter, I am the Executive Director of Local Government Insurance Trust. For those of you who don't know in the audience, we are the insurance carrier for the city. We insure your buildings, your vehicles, your employees for the things that they do for the community. I'm here today to present a $15,000 grant for a wonderful program that we are excited at LGIT that the city of Laurel is going to begin later this year for the Global Sensor System Automatic Reverse Braking System. At LGIT, unfortunately, in the last 7 years or so, we've had 2 different incidents involving local governments where someone was operating a dump truck, operated it in reverse, and struck somebody who was behind the vehicle. Both of those incidents resulted in death. We were very excited when Laurel brought this program forward as a grant opportunity because we're going to look and see how successful it is for you guys and then see what we can do to bring it to our other members. Because anything we can do to try to avoid any unnecessary damage to property or to individuals certainly is something that we strive for. I'd like to thank Pat Haig for all of the work that she's done with LGIT over the years as a member of our risk management committee and our annual meeting committee, and particularly to Timothy Moses, who is the individual who submitted the grant application, the safety compliance inspector. We are glad to give you this $15,000 check. So, Mr. Mayor.
It's not about me getting the check. It's for these 2 individuals who put the work in, so we want to recognize them. So, you want to say anything about the work you did? You come on this side.
I just want to take
Over here.
this
Right
side.
here. There you go.
I just want to thank LGIT for the opportunity of the grant program. It's a wonderful program. It gives us the opportunity to bring problems to them, solutions to problems, and they accept that by awarding our grant for this program. Thank you.
Thank you. We look forward to hearing how the program, how well the program goes. Oh. Thank you. Good luck with the program. We look forward to hearing about it.
Next on the agenda, we forgot to put it on here, but we have several proclamations from the mayor. Oh, boy.
Struggling. I'll just hold it for a second. Instead of keep going back and forth with it. Just gonna read half of it though. This proclamation is 2024-28. Whereas in June 1969, patrons and supporters of the Stonewall in New York City staged an uprising to resist harassment and discrimination laws and practice against lesbian, gays, bisexual, and transgender, and queers in the community. The riots was protest 55 years ago and marked the beginning of the modern LGIT movement. So I want to present this proclamation to our council president, who's a strong advocate for the LGBT community. Thank you, sir. Chief, you can come with this one, please. This proclamation is 2430. Whereas every day more than 120 Americans are killed by gun violence and more than 200 who are shot and wounded on an average, and there are nearly 17,000 gun homicides every year. And every city across the nation, including the city of Laurel, are working to end the senseless violence and evidence-based solution of protecting the public safety in the city of Laurel, and the mayor's highest responsibility. So this right here, we're going to recognize National Gun Violence, and it's on June the 7th. So on June the 7th, I encourage every city resident of Laurel to wear orange. And that's the National Gun Violence color, right, Chief? So, Chief, you want to say a few words, and then we'll present your citation to you as well.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So the gun violence in our community is of grave concern, as it is in every community across the country. I do want to give a shout out to one of my officers last night, conducted a traffic stop on a vehicle that was traveling over here off Martin's Lane. He found the vehicle to be stolen. Ironically, they did stop for him, and they both bailed out. They left behind the handgun they had for whatever they were going to do next. But the officer did a great job because he stayed in the area, and he observed two subjects waiting for a lift, and he apprehended those were the two suspects out of the stolen car with the handgun. Great piece of police work. No telling how many lives we save every time we take a crime gun off the street. That was a crime gun. He took it off the street. Somebody's alive today that wouldn't have been due to that officer's diligent actions. It's what your Laurel cops do every day out here. So this is for those cops. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, moving on to agenda item number 7, general public hearing. I will open the general public hearing at 6:19 p.m. The clerk has given me the list of speakers from the back. We will start tonight with Mr. Philip Nichols. As a reminder, we have a 2-minute time limit. Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Mr. President. My name is Philip Nichols. I live on Montgomery Street. I appreciate the opportunity to speak again before you tonight. I'll be diplomatic, I'll be polite, and hopefully brief. As you know, I brought to your attention a continuing neighborhood problem that I thought the city could and should address, perhaps even solve, as many of my neighbors are apprehensive about coming to City Hall to speak before you. Instead, what happened was likely the creation of a worse problem. The problem now is that my neighbors are not just apprehensive, they are actually afraid. This lack of confidence in city government needs to be addressed by you and how you deal with your colleague. I cannot recollect a time until now when citizens were not just apprehensive, but were afraid to come speak to their elected representatives, and for good reason. After I spoke, several videos were published. The first video caused a police car to be stationed at my home for several weeks. I commend our police department, its chief, and our county sheriff's office for their quick thinking and willingness to protect me and my family and have the offending video taken down. The second video is very critical of the city government, the Catholic Church, and St. Vincent Pallotti High School. The city government for not doing more to accommodate our errant neighbor. I think the allegations made in this video were disingenuous. The reality is much different, and you would have to close your eyes to avoid seeing the obvious. For example, I've asked the clerk to show some pictures taken by my friend Craig Frederick, who's here this evening. These pictures were taken on Friday, April 26th. At a recent funeral, the repast was held in our neighborhood. Traffic was backed up for blocks. There was no parking anywhere close to anybody's home. Let me give you I think I have to do this now. Is that right?
Go ahead and give us your pictures now. Are your remarks almost done, Mr. Nichols? If not, I'll give you a few more minutes. One or two? All right.
I've asked for and received under the Freedom of Information Act a compilation of police calls to our neighbor. They are significant and well over 100 in number for various reasons. Another example was in September of 2023 when I asked the liquor board to inquire. They found the parking lot packed with vehicles, a wedding reception inside, and alcohol present, and none being sold. I provided that video to you, and I understand you can't show it right now, but you should take a look at it. This past Christmas Eve, the party that went on until after 3 a.m. was indeed difficult for us to deal with. This was not a children's event, but it was rather a large and loud adult party that resulted in several calls being made to the police. The noise is significant and be heard across the street and inside my home and my neighbors' homes late into the night. We have a noise ordinance. It should be enforced. Typically, my neighbors will call and a visit by the police will take place. The police will leave. The noise will return to the same or higher levels. One report said the officer, and I quote, could feel the vibrations on the ground from the music. Sadly, we have normalized this flagrant behavior by failing to take action to abate this nuisance sooner. They are a public nuisance. This should have been addressed a long time ago. They seem to regularly operate a catering hall late into the night without a license and in violation of the zoning within the R55 zone. They seem to be the only not-for-profit in the county not required to get the one-day license to dispense alcohol. They park trailers and vehicles in their parking lot. Their garbage collection is in their front yard, which, by the way, gets picked up at 7:30 by a private company. And the noise is disruptive. This is one of the oldest neighborhoods in the city and is in the historic district. When I wanted to change the colors of my shutters from gray to black, it required a full public hearing. I support ensuring the integrity of our historic district, and I applaud the commission's work. However, the city also needs to support the quality of life in our neighborhood. The city had a task force chaired by Rick Wilson several years ago to deal with the issues, not the least of which were their finances. At the end of the report, the task force asked for this financial information, such as where the funds to operate came from and where they went. A nonprofit should be transparent in their dealings with the community at large. Yet those questions have still not been answered years later. Their refusal to cooperate continues to be of concern. As former Mayor Moe said, no neighborhood should have to put up with this type of activity. Please enforce the zoning and the noise ordinances in our neighborhood. I thank you for this time.
Thank you, Mr. Nichols. Our next speaker tonight is Mr. Martin Mitchell. Given that we did go over the time limit on the last one, I will extend time tonight. Please try to keep your remarks brief.
Appreciate it. Memorial Day weekend happened. Of course, we want to honor the fallen soldiers. And, I appreciate everybody for being here. I'm wearing a white shirt. And as it says, I stand with DPW. I always have stand with DPW. And so I just wanted to take the opportunity to read the press release I put out last month. I would like to take this opportunity to commend the DPW workers along with UFC Local 1994 McGeo for their continued fight for fair wages now and forever. I appreciate hardworking DPW workers and every city employee for that matter. Any DPW worker can describe a long history of Councilmember DeWalt and myself supporting them to get collective bargaining rights when it was unpopular with the last administration. We thought it would be different. I would be remiss if I didn't say I was disappointed in Mayor Sydnor because, as stated in the press release that he sent out about celebrating the contract, in a direct quote, President Gino Wren stated the following about the mayor's interactions with the union workers. As the workers entered collective bargaining negotiations for the first time, they were hopeful that the mayor would bargain in good faith and the contract improve working conditions and wages would quickly follow. Unfortunately, that's not what they experienced. An unmitigated assault on their collective bargaining rights has been by the new mayor. As a candidate, he championed being worker-friendly, a former union organizer and a supporter of collective bargaining rights. This couldn't be further from the truth. The city has ULPs, unfair labor practices, filed against them for not respecting the workers' rights, and they have been known to target workers, especially the ones who express interest in joining a union. There's been several employees that have quit or been fired. The 5% offered to the DPW is the same 5% they would have without receiving a union. The workers actually are taking a pay cut by making sure that they have their rights protected. It was stated in the message that they have Jackson Lewis for good reasons, and there's many people that hire Jackson Lewis. But my question is, why did we? Why did we spend almost six figures to hire Jackson Lewis to negotiate against our own workers? Essentially, workers, we could have given them money, right, instead of hiring this attorney. As far as the 18% goes, because we all know about the increase in question that happened over last year, that was long overdue for years of being underpaid. You could just look into it. In closing, I want to say that my position has always been, when I was serving as a city council person and now, that there's a lot of issues with the bargaining process and how it is not favorable to the workers and which it claimed to support and emphatically be in favor of. And so in closing, I just want to say, I hope that we can support the union moving forward and we can support all city employees. I don't think that we should make this a political matter. I think we should actually make this about the employees. And then I wanted to say that on the 22nd, we're having an expungement clinic at the library.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Our next speaker is Wilbert Nicholson.
Good evening, Council. Mayor, to the Council.
Evening.
I think it's sad.
Please remember your name and address for the record.
Nicholson, Vice President of Laurel Boys and Girls
Thank you.
Club. I think it's a sad day when people constantly try to shut down a Boys and Girls Club. Okay, when the city ran the Laurel Boys and Girls Club, they rented out the Phelps Center for events. It was never a problem. Okay, what we do now at 10 o'clock, we have the music turned down. Okay, they can't play music after 1 o'clock, and it can't be over 220 people in there. That's a city ordinance. And every time you turn around, people are attacking the Boys and Girls Club. We take care of the kids in this city, okay? The city doesn't give us one dime, and they promise to give us $75,000 a year, and it's in black and white. I can show it to you, and they haven't given us one penny. And with the field issue over there, we own the field, okay? Now, the way they try to obtain the field was illegal, and I got documentation to show it to you. So, just everybody jumping on the club. The Petro, I know him. He knows me personally. Phil, the judge, he knows me. Fred Frederick knows me. But everybody, when they had the casinos back in the days, it wasn't a problem at the club. We weren't there then. But now all of a sudden the club is a problem. And I think there's prejudice against the Boys and Girls Club. We take care of the majority of the kids in the whole Laurel area, okay? And we try to do everything by the book. Where's the support for the youth? Instead of trying to shut something down, where's the support for the youth?
Thank you, Mr. Nichols. Our next speaker of the evening is Ms. Georgina Eiffel.
Good evening, Mayor Sydnor and City Council of Laurel. My name is Georgina Eiffel, and I reside at 8231 North Lake Court, and I stand with DPW. Over the past several weeks, I have come before this body and expressed my concerns over the collective bargaining negotiations that have taken place between the city and our Department of Public Works. To bargain, by definition, means to negotiate over the terms of a purchase, agreement, or contract. However, there was no bargaining when it came to wage increase, one that they were seeking equivalent to our Fraternal Order of Police. In the mayor's April 2024 special message, he closed by thanking this council for being fiscally responsible with Laurel's taxpayer monies by denying DPW workers a fair wage increase during negotiations. If this council wants to assure taxpayers that they were indeed fiscal in handling this matter, they need to publicly address in this chamber the selection and approval of Jackson Lewis Law Firm representation. In fiscal year 2024, we budgeted $15,000 for collective bargaining legal services. It has been speculated that this law firm cost the city taxpayers upward of 5 times that amount. Where in the budget did these additional funds come from? It has also been stated that Jackson Lewis was not brought on board due to their union-busting reputation. We should know what other law firms the city considered and what were their cost bids. Moving forward, does the city intend to use Jackson Lewis for Fraternal Order of Police contract negotiations? I myself have submitted a Maryland Public Information Act request for this information, but I feel every taxpayer has a right to know, and this public body needs to be the ones to do so. I stand with DPW.
Thank you, Ms. Eiffel. Our next speaker on the list is Levitt Brown. Welcome, sir.
Good evening. My name is Levitt Brown. I'm actually a over 25-year resident here in Laurel. I reside at 7114 Old Sandy Spring Road. Today I'm here to stand in support of the Laurel Boys and Girls Club. Mayor, when you came to my house during the election time, my main concern was the Laurel Boys and Girls Club. And you had told me that you would speak with me and that we would sit down and discuss some of the issues there. One of the things that I heard today was about the Laurel Task Force. I was president during that time. I was actually president of the Boys and Girls Club from 2005 to 2015. I'm a retired firefighter. I know how it is to work in the community. I was raised through Boys and Girls Clubs. My parents are military, so we've been all over the country. And we understood how important the clubs were. When I lived in Seattle, Washington, I actually worked with Mayor Norm Rice. to get the clubs down there in order. They actually believe that Boys and Girls Clubs are important in their community. The Laurel Boys and Girls Club is the largest Boys and Girls Club in the state of Maryland. The county found them important because they gave them the old Laurel High School, which is a facility and a field. It was during my administration that it was found that the field belonged to the club, and the city knew it. The city was actually paying the club $1 a year in that contract. And during that time that the city was receiving, that they were supposedly on that field, they were collecting money from the state. That money actually should have went to the Boys and Girls Club. My problem here today is I wrote you on May 3rd. It is May, 28th? And today I've not heard from you. The Boys and Girls Club, I sat down with them because I'm with the organization now called Children's First. We're an organization that is here in this community to help make sure children are first. In fact, we just secured the Laurel Athletic High School facility, that football field. That was our organization that sat down with the county and got that done. What I am hoping is that you meet with us and get this problem settled with the Boys and Girls Club instead of sending fire marshals and all those things that I went through down there, shutting down our camps, our jobs for kids, the basketball program, the soccer program, the baseball program. It's time that we sit down and try to get this club together. Them three there, they know that I sat before that task force. They grilled me. And at the end of that task force, they promised the club $75,000 a year, just like Mr. Nichols said. I think it's just important that we get this problem settled with the club because, after all, this is our most important resource, our children. I've lived in this community 25 years, and I can tell you that the houses that we're going to go to, over 90% of those people support a Boys and Girls Club. So I'm hoping today that you get back to me, because that was a long letter that I wrote you and asked you to sit down with us. I've addressed the voices of Laurel when they tried to say that the club did this, they did that. I am pro Boys and Girls Club, and whenever they come under attack, I'm going to use all my powers with the organizations that I'm involved with, that we get this issue straight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Levitt. Our next speaker for the evening is Ms. Cynthia Wood. One moment, I think we have some technical difficulties.
Thank you. Is it working? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, our city council, mayor. And Mayor Sydnor, thank you for reminding people about not saying a happy Memorial Day. That's been one of my pet peeves because it is not a happy day, occasion.
Ms. Wood?
My name is Cynthia Wood.
Thank you.
I've lived in Laurel since 1987. And tonight I am wearing my Lady of Justice pin that I want everybody to see because I just think that she deserves to be heard. And I'm going to say, first of all, that long-term residents, I never knew a name of one of our DPW workers. Never knew it until I knew Marcus, because Marcus made sure you knew who he was, and he was very helpful. Well, we lost him. We can't afford to lose other DPW workers because I'm going to mention several safety issues here that we have to take care of. But I do stand with DPW. These men do your dirty work. Rain, snow, cold, heat. They pick up recycling. They pick up trash. They pick up compost, often full of maggots. And soon, that is going to be citywide when that mandatory law takes effect. They work around rats at the facility. Okay, they do jackhammering. A lot of city residents think, oh, they just pick up your trash. No, they do the jackhammering around the city. They dig out by hand. They shovel 340 degrees asphalt by hand. They do city painting. They change lights, such as those on Main Street. They trim trees when they go up in buckets, and they cut down trees. They wash employees' city vehicles. They jump off trucks. They walk through snow and ice. Now they're walking on pins and needles. You only allow them $150 a year for boots. If they pick out a better pair, the difference is taken out of their paychecks. And speaking of needles, an increasing drug use in Laurel that you all know about, okay? So now those needles, where are they going? They're going in the trash cans. You don't provide them needle-proof gloves. This is appalling and unacceptable. And which one of you would do their job full-time for what they are paid? And raise your hand, let me see which one would. I'm very interested. Full-time. You did 1 day, 2 days. That's not full-time job per year. But you know what? If you want to do it, I'll run for your job in 4 years and you can apply for Public Works. All right? That's how much I admire and respect our city DPW workers. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wood. Our next public speaker this evening is Mr. Adrian Russo.
Good evening.
Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Adrian Russo, 1001 5th Street, Laurel, Maryland. Been a resident for over 55 years. I too volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club. I am the current president at the club. I've come to this board asking for consideration for our youth. I appreciate what you all do or try to do for us, but I was coming here for a different reason, except for the fact that when I got here and I heard the judge make his comments, I have two problems with the comments. One, yes, the parking lot was overfilled with a bereavement, but also the church had a wedding. There's an African wedding going on. The city had a Frisbee contest going on. And the Boys and Girls Club had a basketball tournament going on. So we couldn't control who came and used our facility and our parking spaces. But we always open our arms to everybody that uses it and wants to use it, even when we try to control it. So for the judge to say it was obvious who was using it is false. There was a lot of people there, yes, for the bereavement. But there was also other people that were there before we even had the opportunity to furnish parking for that place. And those people that were grieving, they're people. So to say they knew who it was false, because they came from everywhere. And Pilates had an event taking place as well. And we open our arms to them like we do everybody in our community. We don't discriminate as to who gets to use our facilities, which I'm trying to get control over, and make it a point that we must keep our facility open for the people that come to support us and help us pay those bills up there for those kids. So I understand everybody wants to point fingers and point blame. And in closing, I want to let the judge know that Laurel Police came to my facility because he had a situation at his house, and they looked on my cameras as to who it was and what it was that was taking place at his corner. Open arms, gave them access to our cloud, and they investigated and found out what took place on our behalf. Thank you for your time, and I hope you all will consider these kids a little more. If you don't want to help us, don't help us, but don't hurt us, to keep these kids out of the harm's way and in that real nice police station that has new kitchens and everything to feed them well. But I don't want them in there, and I don't want to see it. not my kids, not your kids, or any of our kids in this community.
Thank you, Mr. Russo. There is no one else on the sign-up sheet that is signed up to speak. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak during general hearing?
Thank you. And you know,
Ms. Wood, you already went once tonight.
this is different. It's a different subject, if I may.
You get one time each evening.
Okay, I'll be back next time.
Thank you, Ms.
Speak
Wood.
about traffic on Montgomery Street. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else wishing to speak at tonight's general public hearing? Seeing none, I will close the general public hearing at 6:45 PM. If everyone on the council is in agreement, I would like to take a 5-minute recess. We will reconvene at 6:50 PM.
$890 per employee, all the way to $29,580, again, depending on the coverage. This budget also provides the pension contribution by the city to the pension plans of $2,349,530 and training and tuition of $201,162. And the average additional benefits to the salary plan range from $20,000 to $28,000, again, depending on coverages by the selected by the employees. And that's all I have to add this evening, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. We will go ahead and open the general public hearing on ordinance number 2026 at 6:53 PM. Madam Clerk, is there anyone signed up to speak?
No, Mr. President.
Is there anyone present in the audience that would like to speak on ordinance number 2026? Seeing none, I will close the general public hearing at 6:53 PM. Are there any comments or questions from the council on the fiscal year 2025 operating budget? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve ordinance number 2026 with the amendment of the general operating budget and capital improvement program.
Mr. Mills, I'm confused. Which
Oh,
amendment?
sorry.
Or
I'm
just the
sorry,
ordinance?
just the ordinance,
Okay.
number 2026.
So we have a motion to adopt ordinance number 2026. Do we have a second?
I second.
Madam Clerk, I have a motion and a second. Can you please call the roll?
Councilman Mills?
Yes.
Councilwoman Clark?
Yes.
Councilwoman Johnson?
Yes.
President Cole?
Yes?
Motion carries.
Mayor Sydnor, would you and the director like to say a few words?
Yes, first of all, I want to thank the council for approving the budget, doing your due diligence. The council is in charge of approving the funds for the city. The mayor and his administration present the budget to the city council on all the projects that the city costs, employee salary, employees pension, employees benefits, and pay raises, that we receive a pay raise. All city employees receive a pay raise of 5%. The union pay raise is 5%. The union receive a pay raise for the next 3 years. That's in their contract. And that contract will take effect on July the 1st, 2024, and will expire on June 30th, 2027. That resolution will come before the council in June. And I'm quite sure the council will support it because we went through a negotiation with the union at a meeting that we had about the wages, and the council approved that contract. Well, those wages, and so I thank the council for that. The council have been very responsible. They're putting the city interest first, and that's the job. That's the oath they took, to put the city interest first, and congratulations on that. But I also want to thank this administration. We only been on the job 6 months, and the administration worked very hard from January until today, putting the things together, like I said before, to keep our city operating. There's no increase in taxes. There's no cut in services, and we're going to stand strong on that, and that's something to be very proud of. There's a lot of information that was talked about tonight. I'm going to correct some things after I finish this, but once again, thank my administration team for working very hard, and thank the council for doing your due diligence approving this budget. So thank you, and I want to add
Thank
something
you.
else too.
Anything, Director? Or you good?
No, thank you. Just thanks to all of the department heads and their department staff that worked to put this together. It was a true team effort.
Thank you, Director. I would like to clarify that the council did not negotiate and does not negotiate during union agreements. The council sat before an impasse hearing.
Correct, council. I want to go back on something that was discussed earlier tonight. There's a lot of information was put out tonight, and one thing I want to say for sure that during negotiations, like I said before, the administration negotiate with the union, and the union negotiate with the management, and we come up with a contract. The wages were settled when, according to our labor code, when management and the union did not agree on wages, it comes before the mayor and city council. And the mayor and city council is responsible for the money of the city. Therefore, we looked at it. We compared the wages compared to 5 municipalities: Greenbelt, Hyattsville, College Park, I think Mount Rainier. And the city of Laurel pays the highest. That was probably one of the things in the labor law that said we negotiated. So we agreed. They took the contract back to the DPW workers, and they ratified that contract. And once again, like I said before, that resolution will come before the mayor and city council in June, and I'm quite sure that we'll sign off on it and that contract go into effect. Our job is not to hold DPW back. Our job is to protect DPW, give them the equipment they need. As you can see, we receive a safety award tonight from LGIT of $15,000 of our safety officer working down there, along with our risk management officer working down there to make sure that our workers are protected. And so we're going to do everything we need to do to protect our workers. You know, we're also going to protect the best interest of the city because we all work for the city and we want to make sure that the city can be funded. And it was funded tonight. I want to thank it. I look forward. I do have a meeting. I'm going to schedule a meeting with the Boys and Girls Club. And I want to read a resolution. I'm not going to go in detail with this resolution because there's a lot of information. But Mr. Levitt, Mr. Russo, and Mr. Nicholson, I can make you a copy of this resolution. And then we can discuss this resolution in further detail when I meet with you guys. I asked the administration to give me a list of all the funding that the city of Laurel provided the Boys and Girls Club over the years. And with that, they got this resolution. And there's been a lot of talk about who owns McCullough Field. And, you know, I had a conversation with Mr. Nicholson several times about that. And I told him that, you know, according to the records that we have here in the city of Laurel, the city of Laurel owns that field. And Mr. Nichols, Mr. Nichols, please. I'm on record, sir, please. So I told Mr. Nichols several times that, you know, according to the records that we have, the field is owned by the city of Laurel. And the only way to resolve that in our country is through the court of law. If there's a discrepancy, then we have to take it to court, you know, to see who owns the field, you know. So I want to read something to you that a resolution number 907, a resolution approving a negotiation agreement with the Laurel Boys and Girls Club Incorporated, transferring McCullough Field property as described in Exhibit A to the city of Laurel for certain consideration, sponsored by the President, requested administration. Whereas the mayor and the Laurel Boys and Girls Club Incorporated hereinafter have arrived at an agreement to transfer the interest of the club and the property known as McCullough Field to the city in Exhibit B, attached here. Whereas the city agreed to fund certain capital improvement projects to continue partnership with the club in providing programs for the young people in the city. And whereas the mayor and city council wish to authorize the mayor to execute the agreement and assure the transfer of the property. Now, therefore, it be resolved, the mayor be hereby authorized to execute an agreement, therefore, to take any or all actions necessary to assume the property as described in Exhibit A and transfer it to the city. It be further resolved, this resolution take effect on June 11, 2007. So this was signed by President Fred Smalls at the time. This resolution is still in effect, and there are some things that go in this contract that was expired that the city of Laurel was provide a certain amount of money. Like I said, I will make this public to all people who want to copy this resolution. All resolutions are public information, but just want to clear the path. I'm looking forward to the meeting. There's no way the city of Laurel would take anything from anyone without, you know, this agreement right here say that the field was transferred to the city of Laurel. So once again, I'll give you a copy of the resolution. And if anything, you want to talk further, we can talk further in a meeting that I requested. We will get that meeting set up soon. So I just want to clear the record on that, that the city is no way hindering the Boys and Girls Club. The city of Laurel has waived taxes to the Boys and Girls Club. I gave them tax credits. I have information here. I was going to make that public, but I guess I'm going to make it public now. I gave the council member a copy of this letter dated on April 23rd in their box, but they can see all the things that the city of Laurel had done to the Boys and Girls Club, for the Boys and Girls Club. And we are partnered with the Boys and Girls Club, and I want to continue that partnership. And Mr. Brown, I haven't received the letter yet for some reason, but I will meet with you though. But I just want to correct that record. We will meet with you. But once again, I don't want the folks to go around and think the city of Laurel is against the Boys and Girls Club. We're not against the Boys and Girls Club. My administration not against the Boys and Girls Club, and I think this council stands strong as well. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. With no further business to come before the mayor and city council, this meeting is adjourned.